Welcome back to For the Republic. I'm your host, Louis LV, and that's my co-host right there, KD, finally on his studio, finally in his PC webcam, finally ready to actually sit down and, talk about these issues. It's a rough one today. We're going to start off rough.
It
So,
really is a rough one.
yeah, it's a rough
Right.
one. We're going to start off with the unprecedented, the unexpected surprise attack that Hamas
Hamas.
militant committed on Israel. They have taken over. Well, they intruded. They're invaded. I guess you can call the right word is invaded. I really wouldn't know what you would call it. But early this morning, I suppose, or for them, I don't really know the timing for it. Um, but it's. I think this is the biggest assault Israel's faced in decades since probably the Yom Kippur War, which is actually I think close to I think the anniversary for Yom Kippur is like 50 years ago. I think it's close, like this week.
Hmm.
That Yom Kippur was the Egyptians and the Syrians fighting against Israel. And, and since then, there's always been conflict between the Arab world, really the Arab Muslim world, and Israel on different fronts, whether it's treatment of Palestinians, embankments, encroachments of territory on the West Bank, on the Gaza Strip. Um, or then it's Israel's foreign policy, or what the Mossad does, or there's this global geopolitical scheme, America, Saudi Arabia versus Iran, and other supporters of them.
Yeah.
Uh,
Right. Right.
Today has been, aside from this is when you really forget, about politics, and you realize, every all of this is just, these people that control these countries, they're just playing with the lives of innocent people that really I think day in day out don't think about whether they hate or dislike, or now it's different for them. I don't know. I've never been to Israel. I don't really know any Israelis, so I don't really know. I mean, I know Jewish people, but it's different. Do they there, every day wake up and think, I hate the Palestinians and those Hamas people, because I don't know if they do that. But today they, had a very coordinated attack where they used rockets, pickup trucks, boats, motorcycles, using everything they could in the Gaza Strip to effectively just enter the country and just steamrolled into the country. I mean, I think they caught the entire Israeli military off guard. The Iron Dome was
Hmm.
like effectively pretty much overwhelmed. I think like there's experts that are saying, Hamas probably has over 15,000 missiles in their total inventory, and I think they used 8,000 just in this attack. So 8,000 missiles. I mean,
Just in this attack?
just in this attack, 8,000 missiles were just landing
That's
on them. That's
crazy.
insane. Yeah, and there's always threats of this has always been a threat. That Hamas would do this, and um you know, because they don't view the short range missiles that the Hamas has as pretty much effective, and the Iron Dome would effectively neutralize them as they had in the past. So I think a lot of lately, I think probably Israeli leaders probably just underestimated the fact that something of this magnitude could happen, and I think Hamas, who has been threatening Israel in the coming days, probably maligned and isolated by the fact that the Abraham Accords, pretty much did happen and they took effect and they were working. I mean, Saudi Arabia has pretty much put aside its anti-Israeli sentiments. You got Lebanon, Jordan, other countries in the Middle East and in Northern Africa, pretty much saying, we're in line. We want to make peace deals. We want to make trade deals with Israel. We would like to have. I don't know if it's completely friendly, but it's non-hostile relations, which is
Yeah.
also let's work towards peace, not towards weapons. And I think Hamas probably didn't like the fact that it would then be outside of Iran, who would be its main ally for them, and the Palestinians, which they claim they have nothing to do with, but obviously they do. And so um, in the Gaza Strip, I mean, these militants pretty much just drove in and wreaked havoc. They kidnapped women. They targeted women. They kidnapped women, young girls, children. They massacred men and women on the streets. People waiting for the buses. As soon as I mean, there are photos of people literally just getting shot. Their corpses at bus stops, effectively, just caught dead to right. Just they were just there at the wrong time. Um, and it's tough. And I've been seeing a lot of videos, and so it's kind of difficult to like put the words together just to describe how horrific this is because it's you can't really describe it. We're gonna play some here, so I guess viewer discretion. If you don't want to watch it, just skip ahead. I'll put a note down. I'll put a note down in the description, tell hey, you know what, skip ahead to this part. This is when we stop showing stuff. Because it is graphic, it is disgusting, it is ugly. And but it's I think it's a quick reminder to people here in America, and I think in Europe and other places in the world. We are lucky to be isolated from this type part of the world. We're not. It's not like we're right next to Ukraine or we're in northern. We're lucky to be oceans apart, miles away, hours away, time zones away. And in a until you can call it what you want, but a sort of successful, safe country from this. Like I get it, we say the crime is a lot, but we don't have the fear of literally, an Arab or Muslim or opposition force militia shooting missiles, driving into your neighborhoods and shooting up houses and families. Because that's literally what happened. There are
Or
videos of people of this group Hamas, these radical Muslims, these enraged Arab Muslims of Palestinians really. And I wouldn't be surprised if there were Hezbollah members interlinked into these groups, leading them or helping them. Because there's no reason Hamas should be able to get 15,000 missiles unless it's Iran helping them. And we know it is them
it
helping them.
has to be.
It is.
Yeah,
They've
yeah.
historically
It has to
been
be.
the
Yeah.
ones. Yeah, historically, they've been the ones helping them. So, yeah, it's insane. So, these people literally came into neighborhoods, tore down the doors of homes and massacred families. It's like I don't like saying this extreme because this is kind of extreme, but it's almost Nazi-like, where these people literally targeted innocent Israeli civilians, went into those homes, uh, took out the families, massacred them, kidnapped them, hold them for hostage. I saw there were photos apparently of Hamas literally putting up like corpses or hostages for sale on Amazon. And,
Jeez.
and I don't know if it's true or not. Look into that while I look up like Amazon Hamas look into that to see if that's a thing while you're on there because I've been trying to see if that's true or not. But regardless of not, it's disgusting. It's completely disgusting. I guess we talk about Russia, Ukraine, and people criticize the Russian soldiers and the Ukrainian soldiers, but this is they don't do anything like this. There is a certain respect for the fact you're on your side, I'm on my side. It just happened to it happened to happen this way. It happened. Um, there's a lot of reasons why and why things like this might happen. Over the years. So over the years, I get it because it's a complicated issue. So like when the Palestinians say, "Hey, but Israel's been, bombing our territories. They've been, you know, they've been colonizing areas that don't really belong to them in the West Bank." But 2 years ago, they gave up control of the West Bank. Effectively, since 2005 when they went in there, Israeli citizens had been, moving into the West Bank and living on there and developing property and moving in and living and starting families. And then it's only 2 years ago that the Israelis left and gave up control to the Palestinian control. They call themselves, I think, the Palestinian Control Board or Palestinian Authority. Which is like this cover up for Hamas. So, um, I think it's Muhammad Abbas is the leader, the president of the Palestinian Authority, who is really the puppet. Which is why I have no respect for the Palestinians in this matter, because they always cover themselves up by saying, oh, we're not Hamas. But you cheer whenever Hamas does something like this because the Palestinians are cheering at the fact that Hamas did this. So which one is it? You're involved with them or you're not involved with them? And then, Abbas has been president since then, since like 2005, I think, or 2006. And he's been constantly saying that, I can't really do anything peaceful because one, Israel's bad, and then two, Hamas, even though I have nothing to do with Hamas. But really what happens is that you're just a puppet of Hamas. Hamas controls the Palestinians. Either it's because you're being coerced to be led by them or because you're a part of them. And I'm believing the latter rather than the former. Every time they do something bad, you guys cheer. That's a bad look, especially if you're trying to tell me, oh, we have nothing to do with Hamas. But when and if you're a Palestinian, you know what these people are doing is that they're going into these communities, ransacking them, kidnapping women, kidnapping tourists that just happen to be in Israel, which is kind of a reason I will probably don't want to go to Israel because shit like this happens. And when shit in these type of countries, when shit hits the fan, shit really hits the fan.
Yeah, I've kind of noticed that whenever if it was like a Palestinian get hurt or Israeli get hurt, they just blame one of each other. Um, but okay, so I don't really see anything from Amazon or anything like that. But they do stuff like this in the black market. Um, so there's one right here: body parts from two Israeli soldiers killed in Hamas's rocket war on Israel's civilians. These body parts are currently worth 5.4 billion US dollars and rising.
Oh,
That wow, that's
oh,
crazy. Yeah, so yeah, it's most likely in black markets. I mean, Amazon, there will be huge trouble.
oh my God.
Huge trouble.
I mean, so it seems that, pretty much like the Hamas effectively launched a surprise attack inside Israeli territory and then appeared to take control of several cities and villages along the border. And yeah, it's kind of insane to see the fact that um that one of the world's I don't know if I would call them the finest military, but I would say probably the most well prepared military in the world effectively just let their guard down and just let this happen. I can't believe that. I just can't believe, the fact that this happened. And and
Well, you should give our fans a little history on how all of this started. And first of all, like when it comes to this situation, I'm not putting out saying that like, oh, one of them's a good guy, one of them's a bad guy. I just want this to stop, honestly.
yeah,
Same
that's the thing.
question. I just want it to stop. And it's really you can even predict it too. Like you see like conservatives like siding with Israel, and then you got I guess the left and everyone else showing support for Palestine. But you guys need to realize, like, you guys need to look at the truth and be like, seriously, to stop the war. It's really useless. You guys using these citizens, these soldiers as tools just to get whatever you guys want.
Well, that's the
But
thing. That's why I'm going to slightly push back on that because I think this is deeper than that. So you said mention the history. I'm not an expert on this. I'm really not. I don't know because first of all, I'm not Muslim. I'm not an Arab, and I'm also not Jewish. And so I have no
mm,
claim to, I don't really understand most of it, but I kind of get the background, the basics of it.
mhm.
After World War II, these people were effectively, Jewish people after World War II effectively were put there in what they knew as the Jewish people knew used to be Judea, which is Jerusalem, Judea. Um, and the problem was that there were people there already living there called Palestinians. And why were the Palestinians living there? It's because this history between them, this claim to this land goes back to really the Roman times, when the Roman Empire effectively committed genocide against the people of Judea, the kingdom of Jerusalem or Judea, in those times, where effectively they, in an aim to colonize and expand territories, they were these belligerent states that resisted them, and one of them was them, Judea. And what the Roman Empire did, like a lot of empires do a lot of times, including in modern times, is that they go in and they not only do they invade, but they attempt to eliminate the culture. They destroy the culture, they destroy every single facet of culture to demoralize them, to get rid of them. Not only that, but committing genocide against, just murdering and butchering a lot of people from that area. When they realized, well, people aren't just going to give up. You just got to go, scorched earth. And so, what did they do to make it even worse? Is that they grabbed the Romans effectively, then went to a part of the Middle East. I think it's Syria, modern day Syria. They grabbed them and brought a whole big group of them, of these like gypsies and migrants, and you could probably just say poor people, and then put them here and said, you know what? This is now something else. This is now Palestine. It was called Palestine or some sort of variation of it, and then became Palestinians. But these were Roman citizens who lived under the banner of the Roman Empire. This was now the state of Palestine, or the area of Palestine. The Romans did this in order to get rid of the they were Jewish, but the kingdom of Judea. Not only that, they just destroyed the entire culture, destroyed everything. Like when the Spanish went to Mexico City, which used to be um, the capital of the Aztec Empire, they didn't just destroy the empire and put something else. They leveled the whole thing. They got rid of it, no trace of it, made it seem
Hmm.
as if it never existed. Their
Hmm.
culture never existed, eliminated all of them. And this is the heritage, the history of Jewish people. When they say, it's been a constant struggle against oppression, genocide, murder, anti-Semitism. This is their history. They can trace their lineage down to these people, which is why this is complicated for them. Which is not why it's like, oh, we're using one tool. The left and the right are playing this game. Because if you notice now, even Joe Biden is saying, yeah, Israel has a right to defend itself. Now, I get it. I've heard I'm hearing a bunch of sides. There's that one side that says, hey, isn't it weird that they're both on the same page now? Can it be that maybe it's the military industrial complex? Well, maybe it is shitty the fact that the Palestinians did this, and maybe the Israelis do have a right to defend themselves because Joe Biden is saying that, and the only people on the left that are against this are the far leftists, not most of them, not the typical Democrats,
Right, right,
the
right.
far left, which is like the AOC side, because if you notice, Mayor Adams has put up the Israel flag on the residence of the mayor's building, mayor's office building in New York City. The Empire State Building just is putting down the blue and white flag for Israel. So it's not all of it. And then the right is in this quagmire of, well, do we support a war, or not with the supporting war, do we support you know, aid
Right, right.
or supporting support? Do we tell them that, yeah, we support you? Because even that is seen as like this act of belligerentism, even though it's not really anything, because, that's a whole mess. So it's
Yeah, it is a mess. Yeah.
so it's a complicated thing. My problem has been, and what I've always said when asked this is, you can't have a serious discussion for peace because one side refuses to do that. Hamas did not allow the Palestinians to join the Abraham Accords. They didn't allow them. They made threats, they made issues, and they're funded and aided by Hezbollah in Iran. And who's supplying Iran with all these military weapons? Russia, because that's how it's always worked. So Putin, by the way, because that's why I have a problem with conservatives that say Putin isn't all bad. He's against the gays. I mean, yeah, he doesn't like fags, but he doesn't like Israel either. And he's only doing this because he wants to be on the other side versus the United States, because he's always been that way. So I always have that
Right.
problem. It's like, yeah, I get it. He's against the fags, but he's friends with communist dictators in Cuba and Venezuela. So tell me, like, which one do you care more about? The freedom of those people and anti-communism, or are you just anti-gay? You could be both, but that doesn't mean that you have to like
Hmm.
Putin all of a sudden and say, yeah, Putin's better because I hate Hillary Clinton. I mean, yeah, but you're not voting for Putin, and you're not voting for like what is this game you're trying to play? So that's a tangent, but it's like, so there's this. It's not easy. It's not an easy topic of the left and the right. It's the
Yeah, it's really
Palestinians.
not. Yeah.
The Palestinians in the Arab world for a long time effectively said that the Israelis do not have a right to exist where they are today. The Iranians want to get rid of Israel as a state on the planet. They've said it. They chant it all the time. There's videos of them chanting it now in Iran, saying death to Israel. And Israel's supposed to say what? Oh, why can't we be friends? They don't want to be friends with you. They want to get rid of you. They don't want you alive. Okay? Your girlfriend isn't breaking up with you. She wants to murder you. That's what's happening here. Your neighbor wants to murder you. They don't want you to live there. They want you to murder you. They don't want you to live anywhere. That's what's happening to Israel, which is why there's always this hostility between them and the Palestinians. That's why
Okay.
there's never this easy, simple fix of why can't there be peace? Well, because one side doesn't want peace. One side believes that are they are vehemently opposed to the existence of Israel. That's Hamas and that's Palestine. Because if Abbas, the president of the Palestinian Authority, wants to go on this tangent and lie about the fact that, oh, we wanted peace deals, but we're just scared about Hamas. No, you're not scared of Hamas. You work for them. There's a reason you're still in power since 2006, 2005, because you're part of them, which is what I've always said. It's just an excuse. And if I was president, I would say it. I mean, I'll take you seriously that you want to do peace deals when you get rid of Hamas. Control your own people. Why does Israel have to control them? Why does Israel constantly have to bomb tunnels in? They're bombing the Palestinian territories because Hamas is constantly trying to build tunnels to get into the Israeli territories, smuggling weapons, smuggling drugs, smuggling people, because they work hand in hand with major drug cartels that run through Africa and the Middle East. Hezbollah, Boko Haram, the ones in South America that transport drugs. There was a Vice documentary on this. This isn't just territory. This isn't just the right to exist. This is bigger than that. There's dollars, there's drugs, there's weapons, there's goods being smuggled. This is a big operation. This
Okay,
is
so
complicated.
no, it is for sure. So at a higher percent, a peace deal wouldn't be out there. How would you really stop this? Would you really kill all of Hamas's entire whole, or how would you stop it?
So a problem with things like Hamas is that they're like the Taliban. They're not organized military groups, even though they pretend to be. But they're in their what would you call them? Uh,
Didn't they also
they're
hijack?
militias.
Didn't they also hijack like politics as a whole in Palestine as well?
Well, that's what I've been
Or
saying. That's been my point. When I say Abbas, the president of the Palestinian Authority, is effectively a puppet of Hamas. There's always this
right? Okay.
excuse on their side saying, Hamas isn't our thing. We don't control them. They're their own group. We're being threatened by them. That's just a cover up. That's just an excuse. They could do something about it. That's why I'm saying if Abbas has been in power in the Palestinian Authority, quote unquote power, since 2005, 2006, he's still been there, and Hamas is still the same. Why is he still there? It's because he's a puppet. That's why he agrees with them, and he's using them, or they're using each other for this. And when average
Uh,
Palestinians in the territory are chanting and cheering the fact this happened, this should send the world a message. There's one side that does not want a peace. There's one side that wants the Israelis to go away. That's literally what's happening. And Israel is supposed to just sit there and take the fact that Hamas is building tunnels to bomb and get into Israeli territory and commit attacks of terrorism against Jewish people. That's why they're there. That's why they're there. They've declared jihad on these people. They've declared jihad on Israel, Jewish people, and Christians. They've done this. They've done this. This is not a play of, I love peace. This is why the progressives piss me the fuck off, because they side with the Palestinians, but they have no idea what this conflict is like.
yeah, right,
They understand
right.
nothing. They understand nothing of the complexities. They just say, "I don't like the Israelis because they make money and they're Jewish." Because, by the way, the leftists have always been anti-Semitic. This isn't a modern thing. The leftists have always been anti-Semitic. The socialists were anti-Semites. The communists were anti-Semites. The fascists were anti-Semites. The American left, the Democrats in the 1930s were anti-Semites. FDR's State Department knew the fact the Holocaust was happening, and they knew it was happening in the late 1930s. You know why they didn't say anything yet? Because people in the State Department agreed with them. They agreed with the Nazis. They liked the Nazis. They said, "Oh, that might be a good thing," because they were anti-Semites. This is a true thing. I mean,
Well, that's new. What the hell?
that's new to you?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Oh, this has been happening. Oh, this is.
I mean, the fact that he knew it was gonna happen, that really surprised me.
I mean, Samuel Beckenridge was a State Department official who was in charge of visas for FDR, and he was responsible. He pushed for a policy that slowed visas from Europe during the war, slowed them. In fact, he didn't want them coming in, of people that were alleging and telling them that they were escaping persecution in Europe, Jewish people, ethnic Germans, tons of people saying, "Hey, look, we're leaving because there's this war. This guy's persecuting us because we're Jewish. There's a Holocaust. This is what's happening." And effectively just said, "You know what? It's fine." Because he himself was an anti Semite. People who worked for FDR were anti Semites. These things happen. They knew.
Right,
Just like the New
right.
York Times knew that in the 1930s, there was a Ukrainian Holocaust because the USSR, the Soviet Union, through its policies, effectively incentivized and created a famine in Ukraine. Ukraine has some of the most fertile fields and soil in the world. So fertile that Hitler, when they invaded, told German soldiers to grab soil out of the earth and ship it back to Germany. That's how fertile it is. There was a famine. There was a famine. There was no food. There was no food. Millions of Ukrainians died. Millions of Ukrainians died. You know who knew about that? The New York Times. The New York Times knew about that and covered it up. They didn't report on it. They knew it and covered it up. So you're trying to tell me the State Department's not going to know that there's a Holocaust in the late 1930s and early 40s? They're not going to know? Of course they knew. But the Democrats have always been anti-Semites. Always have been. Because of the stereotypes. They don't like money. They don't like capitalism. They don't like any of that. And they view them as puppets. They view them as cronies. That's why. And they like supporting the Palestinians because, oh my God, Palestinians, oh my God, these poor, sweet people. Oh my God. But if a young Jewish girl,
Well,
who is of course, and nowadays it's now also racial. The Palestinians, because they're Arabs, they have usually darker skin tones for some reason. And the Israelis are whitish.
yeah.
They have European ancestry. They're whiter. They have tans. They say, oh, these people are racist. I can't support white people. They have to die. So they go on this disgusting tangent. So, I'm gonna start.
Well, you can expect more people coming out of the streets in America protesting this stuff,
Oh no, they're gonna be supporting it. So there's this person here where
and there's gonna be fights as well.
she has her own show, and she's just effectively just showing, photos of everything that's going on.
Viva Columbus!
This Israeli family has been taken hostage by Hamas, who took control of their house inside Israel. Just look at their faces. This is a crime against humanity. I mean, look, these guys are bloodied. Their hands are bloodied up. These people are just. I don't really want to play the audio to this.
Yeah, don't play the audio.
I'm gonna skip ahead and viewer discretion at this point. She just says, I can't afford to live another life right now. There are gunshots. Effectively, they've broken into their house, I guess.
She was only 18 years old.
I guess a girl that they knew died, I guess. Maybe the older sister or something. So they've gotten in. They're asking, like, where are they going to take us?
Right.
Daddy, why are your hands full of blood?
Oh, so they came inside their homes.
So they broke inside. Yeah, these Hamas terrorists broke inside this Israeli camp. These people have nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
These people just broke inside their home. You see, they have rifles. I mean, then there are these people, these morally muddled people came out to support the Palestinians.
In Toronto.
Yeah, well, isn't immigration great? Shouldn't there be an
like I said, you expect them to like be out there in the streets tomorrow in America.
Oh yeah. Hamas struck a medical center in Israel. They struck this apartment building in Ashkelon.
I saw that one, yeah. I saw another alarm, like a huge armor blew up.
These are just people that have been kidnapped and
What the hell? The hell was that?
It's a focus. This are all the people that have been kidnapped by Hamas, effectively kidnapped. Then nobody knows. All these people, all these people, hundreds, just missing. And these are people that have nothing to do with it. These people. So this Israeli mom and her two children are being, held hostage by Hamas, and they're held in Gaza apparently. And they're asking, hey, anybody for help. The Israeli security forces have freed hostages held in a home in the southern Israeli town of Ofakim. The terrorists were killed. That's great. Biden supporting Israel. Hamas Muslim Brotherhood savages taunt a Jewish child kidnapped into Gaza. You are a filthy Jew.
Mm,
Just telling them, hey, um, you see these alerts, red alert,
rockets attack.
rocket attack,
Yeah.
Negev, Hasara, Karmia, Northern Industrial Zone, Mafkim, Ashlikon, Kelon, Southern Industrial Zone, Karem Shalom. That's just insane. I mean, just everywhere, everywhere. I mean, these people here, these parents hoping their children are okay. Like, hey, where's this girl right here kidnapped from
Oh
up,
yeah, I saw that one. Yeah.
and she's gone, and the world's probably never gonna see her again. And this is insane. I mean, uh, this person just like you have nothing to do with this. Maybe at one point she supported the Palestinians. Maybe she's pro-Palestinian or whatever. But she's at a peace festival. Who the hell knows? But it doesn't matter at this point. This is when everything. Who gives a damn? The Hamas founding charter calls for the destruction of Israel and the murder of all Jews. It's a jihad. This woman. This guy's a veteran of this war. He died fighting the Hamas terrorists. They're saying at 3 hours ago they said that the death toll is at least 300, probably more.
Yeah. Hmm.
Laura Ben David said, my son just got called up. He has to leave 4 a.m. to make it to his IDF base. That will make two of my boys in. No clue where either will be stationed or what they will do. How do parents do this? Um, Hannah Riley, this bitch right here, saying, solidarity with um, solidarity with people fighting oppression anywhere on the planet. We'll define oppression, bitch. Let's just see what the fuck he's gonna say, because of course she's right. Of course, rally to support Palestine, free Palestine. These people are still doing it, and they're using a photo of Malcolm X. Of course they are. Pay real attention to who gets described as a terrorist when fighting for freedom, from Atlanta to Palestine. Solidarity with people. Yeah, yeah. This is insane. I mean, people just literally saying, yeah, no, this is great. This is fine. This is okay. This is cool. Um, you know, I mean, they just
Yeah, I saw that one too.
woman effectively just died, killed, and being paraded like as a trophy. I mean, she was a German tourist visiting Israel, just murdered, mutilated, and paraded through Gaza by these, and
Hmm.
her body probably thrown into a pit. They just probably threw her on the side. It's, because this is what happens in these wars. It's what exactly happens. And commanding officer of the Nahal Infantry Brigade, Jonathan was rushed to help and murdered by terrorists. Um, military leader. And so, God willing, the cancer of this is the Khamenei of Iran who gets to have an account on Twitter.
Hmm.
That's when people say, maybe, do they get the right to freedom of speech? It's like maybe not, maybe yes, so. I mean, when these people have outlets to literally go on the air and literally say, yeah, we need to get rid of Israel and get rid of the Zionist regime. Because literally, the cancer of the usurper Zionist regime literally means Israel will be eradicated at
Yeah.
the hands of the Palestinian people. Palestinian people doesn't mean Hamas. He's telling you everything you need to know. He's telling you that the Palestinians are Hamas and that Hamas are the Palestinians. It's not just one group, it's all of them. And we're seeing that it's all of them. They all agree with this. They're all okay with it. It's like
Hmm.
it's insane. I mean, just Taliban have announced that they have asked Iran, Iraq, Jordan to grant them passage to Israel. They have stated that their intent is to conquer Jerusalem. Of course, they're saying that because they're great with it. Um, and the United States effectively gave the regime, 16 billion in cash, 45
Yeah.
billion in oil sales, and they literally gave them hostage. They literally gave them like our prisoners. They did it like an exchange.
Yeah. They did.
Biden
Yeah.
literally did that, and this is what happens. I'm not going to say this happened because of it, but there's a reason why things happen like this because they feel like it's great. Reports are emerging of Israeli girls being raped and their bodies dragged through the street. Yeah, of course it would happen. That's what they do. Found this baby but can't locate her parents. It's just Ilhan Omar. I condemn the horrific attacks we are seeing unfold today in Israel against children, women, elderly, and disarmed, unarmed people who are being slaughtered and taken hostage by Hamas. That's actually a strong statement, probably the most strong statement coming from her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Violence will only
Right.
repeat the back and forth cycle we've seen, which we cannot allow to continue. We need to call for de-escalation, ceasefire. I will be keeping, I mean. But then she says things like this before in her history, so that's the problem. It's that you're not the person that should be saying this. I mean, I get it. This if she kept it at this, that'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. The thing is that the
Oh,
act has been done.
7.3 million views.
Yeah, the act has been done. So it's like the act has been done. We're not doing anything else here. And we're just there are some cheering.
The way I'm going and my drug sense and everything, you're not going to understand. You already know.
Welcome to immigration. Welcome to the great thing of immigration. We're literally thousands of people who don't integrate with the community. They still feel they're Palestinian. They're not English. They're not British. They're Palestinian. Want to be Palestinian.
Right. Yeah.
It's like in America. You have all these immigrants, and Canada especially has this problem with Indians, with
Yeah.
Pakistanis, with Palestinians, with all these people from the Arab world who have moved there because Canada allows them to be because they want to be nice to everybody. These
Yeah.
people haven't integrated. They're not Canadians. They're just there. They're there to work. They're there to live because they want nicer lives. But they continue to be active in their home countries. They don't integrate. They live in their own communities. They live in cities that have more people like them. They don't move out like Hispanics do in America, like Asians do in America, where they move out into the communities. They don't. Indians stay in Edison, New Jersey. They don't integrate. So the problem is that the day there's a conflict, what will the Indians in this country do? What will the Pakistanis in this country do? What will the Palestinians in this country do? They don't support it. They become effectively enemies of the place they are living in, the place that's giving them an opportunity. And that's the biggest problem with this huge immigration, but no assimilation. Yeah, this was insane. I mean, they literally just
Oh
kidnapped
yeah, I saw that
kidnapped
one too. Yeah.
woman, just
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر.
All that
yeah, people
blood.
think it's funny when they shout that name out. There are people like, oh, they're terrorists. It's like this, yeah, this is a reality. This woman's her life has changed forever. She's gone. She's been raped and she's probably dead by now, unfortunately. That's just the truth. It sounds harsh, but this is what happens. This is literally what it looks like. When you think shit hits the fan, that's literally what it looks like. Innocent people. You care about I mean, this country, they focus on the stupidest, pathetic things like abortion. Oh my God, abortion and the gays and the trans. This is what the real world looks like. This is what it looks like. Not the bullshit that people talk about, the trans, the books, the vaccines. Oh my God, the Speaker of the House. No. This is it. This is what it looks like. When shit hits the fan, that's what's going to happen. People literally being triggered. You don't think that it's going to happen here when there's like a civil war? What do you think the Muslims in this country are going to do? You think they're just going to sit on the side and be like, oh, we don't participate? Like most black people in this country are going to do? Oh, that's not my problem. Oh, nah. What do you think Muslims are going to do? They're going to go around, they're going to take out their weapons, which they always had, and they're going to start going out raping and pillaging things. That's what's going to happen. That's exactly what's going to happen here. They do this everywhere in the world. They're going to do it exactly here too. Saying, oh, this is not a war between Israelis and Arabs. No. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's not because you don't want it to be. It is. The Arabs and Muslims of effect have declared war on you. This second part is great, but this first, it is a war. Honey, it is. You know why? Because they don't give a shit if you want one or not. They've started it. It is. Oh my God. Yeah, and it's all the academics saying, oh, well, it's okay because disgusting.
Right.
And she's just crying out for help. Come help me. And they can't because he's also being kidnapped. That might have been her boyfriend, her soy boy boyfriend getting kidnapped because they were just caught at the wrong time. Just fucking insane. And it's not their fault. It's not their fault, which is the most fucked up thing because people like to look for blame and shit. It's not. They were just.
כל מי שחושב שהזקה זה צחוק, פעם ראשונה בעיניים שלי ראיתי איך ניצלתי. וחבר שלנו נפצע סיינה.
This is the reality of it. This is the reality.
Was that a kid saying Allahu Akbar?
I didn't hear.
I think I heard something.
No, I think just crying, screaming. So CNYU, which is, the lost Jewish law student, we stand in unwavering. This is the Jewish Law Students Association. Jewish Law Students Association. Literally, we stand in unwavering solidarity with the Palestinian people in their righteous and determined struggle against murderous settler colonialism and apartheid. Palestine will be free. Aren't you guys Jewish?
What?
Insane. Of course, Al Jazeera, supporting the Palestinians, as always. As always. Just, in love with it, of course. And one can be troubled, and then they're saying, oh, this is just, we're out here responding to the weeks and months and years of daily Israeli invasion. That's, no. Of course. And then that's just an excuse. And then, all of these rockets have been fired at Israel today.
Okay. And South, okay. Wow.
تأكدوا قبل كل حجم. تأكدوا. قول له اطلع برا. في من الباب الخلفي حدا بده يطلع. اوعى استكترنا يا شباب. اوعى استكترنا يا شباب. اصبر يا عم اتاكد.
Yep, effectively.
Yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes.
Oh wow, okay. What?
Hamas savages mother
Oh, you
the
gotta be
camera while
kidding me.
holding hostage an Israeli elder woman. Only cowards attack the frail and vulnerable, of course. I mean, this is kind of too much. I mean, I get it. Like that. What does this do? When they do shit like this? Oh, I wrote it in Hebrew, so that no. What the fuck does that do? You're French. Write in French. That's just fucking annoying. I mean, he's not writing in Hebrew. That's just fucking ridiculous. Oh, that makes me feel better about the fact, though. And what has Justin Trudeau said? 12 hours. Canada strongly condemns the current terrorist attacks against Israel. These attacks of violence are completely unacceptable. We stand with Israel and it's fully support its right to defend themselves. Surprising.
Wow.
Let's see what the comments are. Yeah, that's as soon as we'll find safe haven in Canada without passport, without visa. Yeah, they're already there, buddy. Hamas is already in Canada because this motherfucker has of all of them. Oh
I think
man.
Trump Jr. also said that we've been having all these military aged men coming to our country, so we all gotta be ready.
Oh yeah, we got to be ready for that because exactly as you said. I mean, when you go to those videos of New York City, all these migrants, you can't see a single full family in outside in those. You don't. They're all men.
It's all like 30-year-olds, yeah.
20-year-old, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds. Why are they here? Why are they here? Why are they here alone? Why didn't they bring any women? I thought these were families. It's an infiltration of just a bunch of toxicity. You know, so yeah, some people are there looking for work, but why? Why are we letting people in when Americans need work? I mean, we just need a. Oh God. Sometimes it's just too much, man. Sometimes it's just too much because
It is true.
just imagine. I want people to imagine you're living your ordinary life, and then the next morning, uh, there are missiles, there are terrorists driving through your streets, through your neighborhoods, armed with AK-47s, all types of weapons. Who gives a shit what type? Pistols, whatever, revolvers, shotguns, everything. They're shooting down everything in your neighborhood. They're going from door to door looking for people who they don't like, in which in case it would be Americans, blacks, Hispanic, because that's what's going to happen when the shit hits the fan with terrorists.
It's
They
gonna
don't
be
care that
everyone.
you're black.
Yeah, they don't care.
They're going to get everybody. Everybody. Except their own kind, because they've been put here for a reason. They're here to help those people. And so they're going to go door to door. Imagine this. They go to your schools. They're going to look for your children. They're going to take them. Your daughters, your sisters, your mother, they're going to be taken. They're going to be taken for hostage. You're going to be raped. And if they're not dead then, they're going to kill them and throw them off a curb. The men are going to be taken, shot. They're going to be assassinated for the fact that they were like that, murdered, tortured, taken hostage, sold in the black market. All of that in one day. In one day. In one day. Because you voted the wrong way. At the end of the day, it's because that happened. And in Israel, it's different because it's a whole historical thing that happened. This is a terrorist group aided by other countries, which, by the way, they ignore that. They don't mention that. They know. He's let us know that the Palestinians are supported by Iran. Where'd they get the missiles from? These aren't innocent Palestinians. Where do innocent people find 15,000 rockets? Where do innocent people shoot 8,000 rockets? Where do they find Humvees, pickup trucks? Where do they find this? Where? How did this happen? How? Explain. Where? It doesn't make sense. Your support doesn't make sense. It makes you even more retarded. Fuck, they piss me off, man. Because nothing they say or they do makes sense justifying it. It doesn't just since 1948. Oh yes, because the Israelis last year did this. Oh no, that never happened. That never happened. The Israelis didn't do this last year. They don't go into Palestine and shooting down homes, breaking into homes and shooting Palestinians and kidnapping Palestinian women. I don't remember that. So to say that they've done this before, I don't remember that. That didn't happen. Do they illegally get into the West Bank? They did. 2 years ago, they gave it up. They gave it back to the Palestinian Authority. And now this is happening in Israeli territory. Not just the West Bank territory they gave up, but in Israeli territory. So what's tell me, what's the excuse? I mean, I just don't understand it. I don't understand the point of, oh, we protect. No, you don't protect anybody. You don't care about women. The progressives don't care about women because they just let a bunch of women that probably think the same way they do, like that girl who went to a peace festival, maybe thinks the same way they do. Just got kidnapped and is probably dead. Dead. Because of this Hamas, these pathetic Hamas terrorists. You know, I would be okay with if they got bombed if they got bombed. You know what? I would be okay with that. Conservatives can bitch and moan about the industrial complex all they want again. That's all they know how to do nowadays. Bitch and moan about the military industrial complex like a bunch of fucking progressive pussies. Fucking hell, these dumbasses. They gave it to the speaker, and now they can't even fucking decide if they support Israel or not. Oh, I don't support. You guys are mostly racist. You don't like Arabs anyway. Now you can't decide. Now you can't decide if you don't like Hamas. You don't like Arabs and Muslims anyway. We literally had a Muslim ban from these countries that were Muslim. Not the majority ones, but from these type of countries. Now you can't decide if you hate them or not. I mean,
Yeah,
come on.
they don't want to ruin their reputation.
Oh, we don't want to get into those lines. Yes, you do. You do want to get into line. Ron DeSantis is waiting to say he hates the Muslims line. He's been waiting for that time. Go say it, Ron. I mean, this is just pathetic. Pathetic.
Oh, have you saw his video? Just like condemning the whole thing.
Of course he has. He's running for president. Why do you think? And great, we agree there. But I bet you he probably stuck in a line in Florida because that's all he knows how to do. In Florida, we don't have Hamas attacking Israel.
Jeez.
Christ Almighty. Yeah, our thoughts and prayers are with these people of Israel, and
Yeah.
what? Expel them, shoot them out the country. I wouldn't say do this to them. Don't but you have to fight back. You have to fight back. You don't let this happen and let this let the people. You have to fight back. You fight back. You bomb their centers. You bomb their centers of command. You bomb that. These people have committed war crimes, going after innocent civilians tonight. They did not attack IDF sites. They didn't attack key military installations. They attacked civilians. They massacred civilians. They literally did what they did in Rwanda, going from home to home, house to house, looking for if you were a Hutu or a Tutsi. That's what they did. They went to see if you were Palestinian, Israeli. They went knocking on your door saying, where are the Israelis? Go in this house. If they're Israeli, take them hostage, shoot them, do whatever. Check that. That's what they did. They literally did that type of bullshit. This is genocidal activity. You have to fight back. You have to fight back. There is no option.
I agree.
Great. All right, we're gonna move on from this. We're gonna talk about another topic, and it's the Trump New York City Manhattan case that's undergoing right now.
Trump.
You saw the videos of the judge. You saw the videos of the jury.
Yeah,
I
I saw one of them. Yeah.
going on. Effectively, Trump is now being taken for the case regarding his did he commit fraud when he acquired these bank loans because he overvalued his property? And remember, the judge in this case said Mar-a-Lago is worth $18 million. $18 million. I mean, honestly, seriously.
They really think that it's $18 million. Or they know how much it is, but they just say it like that.
No. This is the case. This is the case. The judge is saying that they're alleging that Donald Trump, the company, he and the company committed fraud by overvaluating, inflating the value of the properties in order to get
Oh, okay.
favorable
All right.
bank loan terms.
Right.
You want to know how this is bullshit from this moment they said that? When you get a loan from a bank in terms of commercial real estate, when you get a loan of this magnitude and you leverage your property, the bank is going to send out appraisers to value your property. They don't take your word for it. They do that themselves. So the banks that loaned Donald Trump or the Trump organization money on the basis of these properties, they went out and they sent out their own appraisers and they gave him the evaluation of 300 million. Not him, not the company, not Don Jr., not Eric, not none of them. No Trump was involved. The bank, whether it's Bank of America, whether it's Deutsche, whether it's JP Morgan, whether it's any other motherfucker who has money, they send out their own appraisers. Those appraisers go there and make a valuation and said it's 300 million, not Donald. So that's bullshit. That's the number one bullshit. That's the number one bullshit claim that, oh, he did this. He's the one who did this. He committed the fraud. The banks have already responded to the case and saying, we were paid, we were fine, we profited off the loans, and everything was fine in our book. In offense, I mean, there is no victim in this case. They're alleging he committed fraud against the banks. The banks are saying that they're not victims. The banks are saying that there was no fraud. Business was handled. It's been paid off. Everything's fine. Why are they doing this? There is a special clause in this case, which means if Donald Trump loses, he will have to pay them a huge amount in fines. And because these are valuations, the judge is effectively lowering the valuations of all these properties because in that fine, in order to pay off the fines, the government, the state of New York, through Letitia James, are going to take away these properties and make Donald Trump go broke, effectively taking control of his New York Trump Towers, the Trump Gardens, maybe Mar-a-Lago, maybe the other ones in New York City. He has several properties, several buildings he owns. By saying that, you know what? You have a fine of $280 million. That's your fine. Is it just an example, okay? $280 million. Okay. Trump Plaza has a valuation now, we've decided because you committed fraud, of $5 million. We're going to take that, and now you owe us $275. Trump Gardens. Trump Gardens has a valuation of $10 million, not $200 million, $10 million. We're going to take that, and now you owe us $265. So go find, oh, you have another building on XYZ. Oh, that building's only valued at let's just say $5 million because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. $5 million. Now you only owe us $260. You get what I'm getting at?
Yep.
They're going to take away his property, fully control his property. They're going to steal his property. They're going to disown him of his property. That's what's going to happen here if he loses. And unfortunately, because one, he won't get a fair shake. Two, the judge effectively says that he's not a fan of juries making autonomous decisions. There's a video of him saying that, you know what? In my experience, a lot of times when I don't like what a jury does, I just overrule them and make the decision myself. Which means if the jury says Donald Trump is not guilty, but he thinks he really is guilty, he's going to overrule the jury and say he's guilty. And before people come with the bullshit of, he can appeal, what difference does that make? It's going to go to another place in New York. And by the time it gets to the Supreme Court, they might not even hear it. Because they're going to say, we don't want to get involved.
Interesting. Donald Trump arrives in court for a New York trial that could cost him control of Trump Tower.
Not just Trump Tower, all of them. All of them.
Yeah.
Every single property he has in New York. That's what's going to happen.
Well, what's the situation now? Is he winning his cases, or how's that going so far?
Well, we don't know. There are no updates. There are no updates as to trial's going. We're gonna have to find out when a decision's made. We're gonna have to hear the arguments, and then the judge and the jury are gonna make their decision. There's no updates. We're not going to know until it's done. We won't know until it's over. You know, that we're just speculating. We think he's not going to win. He's not going to get a fair shake. It doesn't matter if he has a good argument. It's whether the jury is going to be independent and going to hear the facts of the case. What do you think is going to happen in New York City, in Manhattan? What do you think is going to happen?
It probably won't look good for him.
It won't look good for not probably. It just won't. It won't. The judge already said that he's not going to. First of all, he's been happy. He put a gag order on not just Trump, on the family from speaking out about this. So they can't go out and talk about this, but Letitia James can go on MSNBC and talk about it if she wants. And then the judge effectively saying that, you know what, whenever I don't like what a jury is doing, I just overrule them because I think I know what's better. I know what's right. Even if a jury decides, yeah, he's innocent, I am so much better than the jury. I'm going to decide, you know what? I'm going to decide, no, you're not. I'm better than the jury. I'm going to decide whether he's guilty or not. And I think he's guilty. That's what he's done. That's what he's done. This is just another symptom of what they're doing. They're trying to get rid of him out of this race. What they're trying to do is get rid of him by two ways. Either he goes to jail, or by the time 2024 comes in, he's broke, destitute, and has nothing to cling on to. This is a reminder of what happens when you try to rock the boat, when you reveal everything, when you take over when you're trying to eject them out of power, when you try to take them out of their authority. This is what happens. They make a lesson. They make a lesson. And Trump is a billionaire. For all the people that say the billionaires rule the world. No, they don't. Not this one. Not this one.
Right.
They don't want him to be rich anymore. They're trying to eliminate him. They're trying to get rid of him. And then what they say about the conservatives, Hillary says, we need a complete deprogramming. A complete deprogramming.
Good luck with that.
Exactly. But what does that mean?
Good fucking luck.
That's just
Yeah.
genocidal to say.
Right.
That's a genocidal thing to say. I mean, deprogramming, that's an insane thing to say.
Yeah, we don't know what she clearly means by that, but like I said, good luck with that. Don't think that we're gonna give up easily.
We know what that means. What do you mean we don't know what that means? We know what that means. They want to get rid of us.
No, I mean like different ways of her saying deprogramming. I'm just saying there's like different ways of what she wants to do.
You're gonna play this video real quick just to get. I mean, just despicable.
And sadly, so many of those extremists, those MAGA extremists, take their marching orders from Donald Trump. He's only in it for himself. He's now defending himself in civil actions and criminal actions. And when do they break with him? Because at some point, maybe there needs to be a formal deprogramming of the cult members.
A formal deprogramming.
Yeah, we did it, Lewis. We're a cult member. Hey.
Well, I mean, those are the same words that Ann Coulter used. The same words Ann Coulter used. That pathetic bitch. I mean, those are the same damn words of that ungrateful, pathetic bitch that seems to be angry at the fact that nobody loves her in her entire miserable life. And constantly, I mean, for a woman, I mean, honestly, this woman still goes around talking to people from the New York Times. They don't like you, Ann. Stop talking to them. They never liked you. They make fun of you. They think you're stupid. And she's like, oh, but they don't like Donald. Of course they don't like Donald Trump, you dumbass. Fucking cold sore. God damn.
I still haven't seen that the podcast yet.
Oh, she irritated the fuck out of me, man. Oh my god. And that's why I need. I mean, I can't with this woman. I can't. I mean, just like what Patrick told her. Patrick just told her off. She is unpleasable. She is a bitter, resentful woman. And what did she say? You're sexist. I mean, she's like a liberal now. On personal terms,
Yeah.
she's like a liberal. She's like, I just want a wall. I mean, you're unrealistic. You're intellectually like retarded. I mean,
She wants
honestly,
everything, yeah.
I mean, you want everything. I mean, it's insane. It's insane. And so, I mean, no. And this is just the beginning, by the way. This is. I think this is probably one of the worst cases because, it can do a lot of damage. In particular, if it does succeed. I mean, this is the case where they're not only going to fine him or they could allege he might go to jail. I don't think he will, but they could fine him and take over his property. Take over his business, literally, like chokehold him into submission, saying, you don't have money to pay for lawyers, you're not going to have any businesses, your cash flow is going to be eliminated or disrupted, and that's a truly the harmful case. What they're doing to him is trying to eliminate him, trying to get him out of here, and it is election interference at the end of the day. It is.
It is.
They're trying to prevent him from getting to the race, even though they know he is the front runner, or in fact, the already presumable nominee for the party. He is going to represent the other half of the country, and they're trying to get rid of him. That's, at its most basic levels, election interference. That's anti-democratic. And just see it. Just see what they did. The first thing you have to see, look at what they did to RFK Jr., who we're going to talk about now, is who was announcing on Columbus. He's going to an announcement where he's going to effectively, from all reports, announce that he's running as a third party, independent.
Are you still gonna go there?
I have not looked into tickets again. I would if I could get tickets, but I already made plans for other stuff. I have to take the dog to get his microchip, so I can't go. But I would love to go, honestly. But I haven't been able to find tickets for anything. I don't even know where it is.
Where's it being held at Philly?
It's in Philly, yeah.
Philadelphia. RFK tickets cheaper than StubHub.
No, they're not at StubHub.
Oh, let's find out.
Yeah, so he's announcing effectively, and this is a great example. The party of democracy, the one that tells you that you're voting for democracy when you vote for Joe Biden. Literally, we all saw it. Is not only just trying to get rid of Donald Trump because they don't want him running again, and they don't like the fact that he rocked their boat and tried to get them out of power and out of influence in the global geopolitical world where they can start wars and fund countries and do bullshit and export gayness to other countries.
All right.
But to a contender, a real actual contender, telling them, hey, we are going to not let you have Secret Service protection. We're not going to call you about it. We're not going to, let you have it. Doesn't matter if we do know you have assassination attempts. We don't care. We don't care. And it is an insane thing that has happened. Just
is it true that he was the only candidate that was denied Secret Service?
I don't know if he's the only candidate, but I know he's the only candidate this year that was denied Secret Service. In fact, they didn't even ask him if he wanted any. They denied it. Yeah, in fact, yeah. I don't know if he's the only one, but I think of all the ones that are now that this has to be reformed a little bit now that we mention it, because a lot of candidates that don't need it are getting it. Like Will Hurd has Secret Service protection. You don't even know who that is.
No.
Exactly. So that guy has Secret Service. That's ridiculous.
That's crazy though.
And so he was denied.
I feel like at least family ask if he wants it.
Knowing the fact that he has a history of his family, knowing that he personally has threats of attacks, and his security has confirmed that, and he's on alert, and all the sources around him are saying that, hey, he knows that he's being watched and effectively a target for assassination, alongside with Trump. They know this. And regardless of that, they didn't do this. And then they didn't want to engage in debates. They effectively told the media that, hey, if you cover this guy, you're going to be blacklisted by us. You won't get access to the president. You're not allowed to have town halls with him, which is why he never did town halls for like CNN or MSNBC. He had to do them on things like News Nation or local affiliates who, that are local, like New Hampshire, because the big media channels were not allowed to have him on. MSNBC does not talk about him except to insult him and call him, anti-vax and all that stuff, even though they're the ones that are effectively, retarded. This is just another symptom of how undemocratic the country has become, because the party in power refuses to engage in the democratic process. But they want Donald Trump to debate. That's what they say. Oh, but Donald Trump doesn't debate. Yeah, that's different, though. He never said nobody should run. He just thought Ron DeSantis shouldn't run because, of loyalty, of a different aspect. It's different. It's not all black and white. There's context to things, but Democrats don't know what context is. I just saw the
Can't
link.
find his tickets
I did.
anywhere.
I just found it.
Oh, you found it?
I found it. Yeah, you have to RSVP and they'll contact you. So I mean, by now I think it's sold out. But I could actually apply and see. Hey, it does ask me like how many people are going. I'm down to go, but I do have an appointment at 10, and it starts at 12. So I don't know if I'll be able to make it.
Yeah, you probably won't make it. No.
I probably wouldn't make it. I mean, I would really go though. I would actually go to that.
It will be interesting to go. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I would love to go. I mean, I would love to go, and we could have done content for you guys there, but no, fortunately, no. So
Yeah. Plus, I'm busy, so I can't go.
yeah, none of us can go. So maybe next time we'll try to do some other content like that. But the question is, will RFK Jr. pull from the Democrats or pull from the Republicans in 2024? That is the question, because now, regardless of what I think of him, he is now a third-party candidate officially. I think that's the announcement he's making. Everyone's saying that's going to be it. I'm sure that's what it is. There's no other reason to have one like that. So, is he a third party or no? That is the question. I'll go first because you can keep thinking about it. I think there is the slight danger that he will pull votes from the Republicans because it always happens like that. If for us, we're always the sore losers in this case. 1992 is the example. Democrats like to think that the Green Party and the Libertarians took away from Hillary Clinton, but no, that's not the reality. The reality is that, you know what? Hillary Clinton was a shitty candidate and had a shitty campaign. She campaigned like an arrogant prick, like she is. Example, the video you just saw. And people didn't want to vote for her. And they felt okay voting, as always. The Green Party got the same amount of votes as it always does. I mean, that's just what they do. They always grab a little percentage.
Yeah.
And the small coincidence that it's the same number of votes that you needed to win in certain states. Coincidence. The Libertarians are always third. The Green Party is always last. They always get those small amount of votes. And yeah, she lost. I mean, it is the truth that she lost in the key states that Democrats had always won by small margins. That's true. The same thing happened in 2020, except that it happened in a weird way. Donald Trump did not win because all the votes at 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning skyrocketed that way. That didn't happen. By 10 o'clock, you knew Donald Trump had won. You knew it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
By next week, after all the votes had been counted, Joe Biden allegedly won. Allegedly. I mean, so I mean, and that could be the case this time. In the states like Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Arizona, Nevada, there will be a small percentage of votes that will tip the scales for Trump or for Biden. That's what's going to happen. Not that, the third party, Cornel West, and who's now not a Green Party member, he's now independent too, or RFK took them. I don't want to go into that, but it does seem like that he might, because he does have traction with Republican voters. He just does. Now he has 10%.
He does. Yeah.
Now RFK did poll at 15% consistently in the Democratic primary. So that's something to look out for. I mean, he can steal votes from Democrats in places like Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts. Maybe we're wrong. He can do that. He could steal them away from Democrats in Philly, in Arizona, all over the country. He can do that. That is a possibility. But I'm also worried about there might be some Republicans, some conservatives who, because they're dumbasses sometimes, don't research the topics and say, I don't like Trump on the vaccine. So even though there's no COVID, I don't like Trump on the vaccine. So I'm going to vote for RFK because of the pandemic. Even though the pandemic was 4 fucking years ago. But the vaccine. And Fauci, who's dead by now, because who gives a shit about Fauci? But the vaccine. The vaccine. Because that's what they sound like. Every time I hear someone, the simp, talk about the vaccine, I just want to fucking smack their face and shit and just fucking do something to them. I can't make anything up.
Isn't RFK really big on Bitcoins as well?
Who cares?
Or crypto in general?
I think he is. I think he likes it. I think he's probably down with it. I mean, he's all about that,
Because I know some conservatives that post on Instagram likes the fact that he's into the cryptocurrency and
Isn't
Bitcoin.
that the most annoying
That's like
thing
that's like
ever?
one that's like yeah, it is annoying. It is. It's like that's what you
Like,
guys worry about.
exactly. Exactly. Like the world, there's a war in Ukraine. I really like, I really like RFK's Bitcoin policy. That's exactly what we need in this country. Where the fuck are you? Who are you? Like, you shouldn't be voting at all if this is your main concern. Like with the
Yeah.
DeSantis people, all they can say is, "But COVID, the vaccines, bro. It's been
Yeah,
34
that's
years.
his big that's his
Get
big
over
counter
it.
argument.
Get over it. Fauci doesn't love you anymore. He broke up with you. He's left.
Yeah, he can't save you no more.
He can't save you no more, bro. I mean, there's no more like you got to move on, bro. Like I don't want to hear about in Florida we didn't listen to Fauci. In Florida, I don't want to hear that anymore. I don't want to hear that anymore. I mean, I just can't handle more of it. But there's people like
Yeah.
that. They're like, I really like his Bitcoin policy. Like, you know what I like about JFK, honestly? And I'm not going to vote for the guy, but you know what I like? The fact that he focuses on the fact that you know what, buying a house in America is impossible nowadays. I like that.
Yeah, it is.
I like the fact he talks about Ukraine. I like the fact about that. But when it comes to other issues, I just don't feel like, I just don't think he's, I'm not supporting him on the environment, on gay and trans, on the affirmative action, on abortion, on, all these other social issues, on economics. I don't, there are several things I just don't support. So, hey, that's what people have to get back to.
I think he would do like slightly well, being as independent, like you said, it is really like like some conservatives will probably lean towards him, and then you got some of the Democrats who have been red pilled somewhat, leaning towards him as well.
Well, he has that 15%. He has that 15% in the polls of the primaries. So I'm
how much
wondering,
percent? Yeah, like what's the percentage of him getting into that playing field?
into playing field.
Like getting into the election.
Oh, I think you were saying he's going to playing
as a no, getting into the
that's
you get what I'm saying.
That's the interesting. I didn't really. That's the interesting thing. I want to know how big is that 15%? That's what I want to know. Like, what is this? A big 15%, or is this a small sample size? Because I have a feeling that he can have the effect of taking away from Democrats. But I also tell you this. That's why I said he can also take away from Republicans, which is what I'm worried about. Because Republicans,
Yeah, exactly.
Republicans are idiots. I'm a Republican. We're idiots, all of us. We're all idiots because we vote. We don't know how to vote. We just don't know. We vote for the stupidest issues, like the vaccine, like the pandemic, even though that's over and gone with. Nobody's talking about the COVID vaccine except for DeSantis. Nobody.
Mhm.
Even RFK is saying he doesn't want to talk about the vaccine.
Yeah, come to think of it, he's the only one that talks about it. Yeah, he's the only one.
He's the only one. He's the only one that says, I'm done. That's done. RFK wants to talk about the economy, Ukraine, foreign policy. He wants to talk about
issues.
healthcare. He wants to talk about the big issues he feels are affecting Americans. And Trump does the same thing. Trump talks about China, trade, the military, foreign policy, the war in Ukraine, etc. Nuclear. I mean, that's what he's big on that. The border. Ron DeSantis is saying, in Florida, we didn't listen to Fauci. And when I'm in Washington, I won't listen to Fauci. Fauci's dead, bro. Fauci doesn't exist. He's done. He's gone. He's dead. Forget about him.
Daddy's retired.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, why are you like? It's insane. So I feel, I think we're both in agreement here. Like I'm just curious as to see, and I want to see polling. There's going to be polling that's probably going to come out in the next weeks. I want to know who is getting affected because we've seen the recent polling saying that Trump is kind of ahead of Biden now. They're neck and neck, margin of error. I want to know who takes hits in these next polls. Does Trump take a hit or does Biden take a hit? Or does that percentage of people that didn't like either go to Kennedy and things kind of stay the same? Does Kennedy get like a 5%? Like I want to know. I really want to see what's going on. So that's what I'm going to be looking out for. I think that's going to be the key in these next like 2-3 weeks. What does the polling look like? What does the polling look like in battleground states? What does it look like in Georgia? What does it look like in Pennsylvania? What does it look like in what's that called? In Wisconsin, Michigan, Arizona, Nevada. I want to know, what does it look like in these areas, these key states? Because remember, that's where the election is going to be. The key states. Who wins Pennsylvania? Who wins Michigan? Who wins Wisconsin? Who wins Georgia this time? Who's going to win in Arizona? I need to know that. We need to know that. That's the key. That's the key.
Yep.
I
agree with that.
All right, we're at the end
Let's
here.
just
We're at the end, so I don't know if you got something else to plug in this like next minute.
I don't know.
You're
Yeah,
not gonna show anything?
yeah, pretty much show them what my
I thought
cock.
you were, I thought you were, oh my god, I thought you were looking up something about this.
No, I was just checking something out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's what that's them. So, anyways, we're wrapping up. We have noticed a lot of activity over the last couple weeks in our last recent episodes, a lot of views. So I'm going to say again, we really appreciate that. We're really grateful. We thank all of you, all your new subscribers. Thank you for checking with us, giving us a shot. We won't disappoint you. You know, comment down below. Tell us, hey, what should we do to make this even better in your opinion? And we'll definitely take a look at it. We'll definitely reply. We'll definitely like that message. We'll definitely interact with you. We love you. And like, subscribe, hit that notification button. And if you really want to support us even more, because you love us, and we love you too, join our Patreon. It's only $5 a month. Even if you could only do that 1 month, it will go a long ways to supporting us so we can bring you more hot, fresh content like this every week. We're going to try to do, 2 times a week, once a week, at least once a week, but obviously 2 times a week. We're trying to do better on our Patreon, putting out more episodes out there. So if you want to hear us really uncensored, funny, going at all these corrupt politicians, talking about all these issues, uncensored, unfiltered, real hard, check out our Patreon. Only $5 a month. Link is down below. That's patreon.com/4, the number 4, the Republic. Link is down below. Follow us on Twitter where you can track us more. That's where we're mostly on. And until next time,
Stay racist, y'all.
there we go. See you next time, guys. Bye.